Well, hello everybody. My name Christopher Walker. Welcome to the Dirty Nerdy Show. Guys, okay, you asked and you were like, hey, listen, Chris not walking. You wonderful cripple man you. I need you to get Whisperwind on the show. And I was like, yeah, man, let's do that. Let's go and get the sage on the show. So, she is here. This is a thing. We're doing it. And welcome to the Dirty Nerdy Show.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Oh, thank you for coming in. I am so excited because, see, here's the thing about you, fam. You are hilarious. Okay?
Really?
Yes. Yes. You think I don't catch you when you being low key hilarious, but it do, and it's funny, and it cracks me up personally, because other people don't catch that shit, and I catch that shit. Like,
Well, I'm glad you appreciate my weird sense of humor.
it's so good. It's so good. So my first question, since we're talking about humor, how
Yeah.
important is it to inject a little bit of humor into what you do?
Oh, I think it's super important, especially like because I'm doing different characters and stuff, and I want them to seem like real and someone that like you can really relate to. Like, yeah, I like dusting in a little bit of humor there.
Yeah, I love it when they do that with role plays, man. Like just a little bit of jokes, just to acknowledge the silliness of it all. Cause like,
Yeah.
cause like at the end of the day, it's a pretend thing where this person is talking into a microphone in a room all by themselves. That's kind of funny. Okay, so
You know what? Yeah, it kind of is.
so I love it when people inject a little bit of humor into it.
Well, thanks. I'm glad you appreciate it.
Yeah, you're quite good. You're really, really, really like up there, man. Like you're like Amy K level. Like that's like
Oh,
what?
thanks, man. Wow.
Nah, for reals, man. And then you got like the whole like series thing going on. That's fucking fire, man.
Damn, thanks, man. That's awesome. Amy K was one of the first people that like I found and followed when I found ASMR. So that's like a huge compliment.
Really? Really?
Yeah, I love her stuff.
Ah, me too. So like for the Star Wars thing, she's like
Yeah.
she's like I don't know how to be assertive, so I need you to.
Oh. So you're like her unofficial mod in that group.
No, I'm the rally the troops guy. I'm the let's organize this thing guy.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, and she's amazing. I love like because I'm a big like Star Trek and like Star Wars. Like I love those things and I love the lore of those things.
Yeah,
And
totally.
her attention to detail in like her Star Wars videos. Oh my
Hmm.
god, so good.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it's one thing to like do a Star Wars thing and be like, I'm this character and I'm going to do this thing. But it's like another when you actually incorporate like parts of the lore and like the little known things that not everybody would pick up on, but that are so cool. I love that stuff.
Yeah, like okay, like for example, and I'm sorry, Amy, I got to do this to you, right? Okay. So when she did that role play as a Sith, right?
Hmm.
Um, n- nobody really like noticed this, but she lifted lines from Revenge of the Sith,
Yes,
like
totally. No, I totally caught that. I loved that.
like word for word lines, and I was like, yes, queen.
Yeah, no, that was awesome. When Tippy Tappy did the Vader one that he did,
Yeah,
he like lifted lines too from like Vader's actual lines, and I was like, yeah, it was great.
I can't watch Tippy Tappy. He's too pretty.
Well, that one he was wearing a Vader mask, so you could probably watch that one.
I could probably watch that. He's too pretty though. I feel like I'd be distracted by the man's prettiness. And I'm a straight man, but like, but like that is a pretty man. He's like a pretty Vincent Van Gogh. Like, if you look at like paintings of Vincent Van Gogh, that's what
Yeah,
Teletubby look like. But like a real pretty, like
right. Prettied up version of
Chanel
him.
model version of that shit. You know what I mean? Like,
Totally get that. I saw him described once as Ross Geller's hot ginger cousin. And I was like, yeah,
that's
I can see that too.
funny. Ah, that's great. So, where do you get your inspiration from? Because you are so creative.
Well, thank you. I mean, I think some of it is just because I consume so much fantasy. Like, I love fantasy. I love reading it. I love watching it, all that kind of stuff. And I love like playing D&D and that kind of environment too.
I've never
Um,
played D&D. I don't have friends.
oh, well, I haven't in a long time because I don't have friends where I live now, but it's super fun if you ever get the chance. I might actually like way, way, way down the road try to like figure out how to do a game online sometime. So,
I know people that do
you know,
like D&D like Discord servers, and they like do like full on like D&D campaigns like on Discord.
yeah,
So
yeah,
maybe
totally. I might set one of
you
those
could
up.
do that.
Maybe. Be cool.
I
I've never,
I would be into
I've
it.
you would, yeah. I've played D&D, but I've never like been the dungeon master before. So I think that would be something that would be so cool.
Yeah, man. Guys,
Okay.
ASMR D&D. We got to do this. Like,
Oh
who,
yeah.
who wants in? Who wants in? We have a bunch of fan questions, right? And
hmm
so this is the first question, and it comes from Selkie. Who is your favorite female fantasy writer?
My favorite female fantasy writer. Probably these are two authors that like I read a lot when I was like a teen and like a kid. But Emily Rhoda, she wrote the Deltora Quest series, which like that was my jam when I was a kid.
Nice.
Um, and then Cornelia Funk too. She did like the Inkheart series and the Thief Lord and Dragon Rider, which was kind of like my precursor to the Inheritance cycle too, which I really loved. So both of those women were like very influential in my growing up years.
Do you read any comics?
Do a little bit, not like a lot.
Because there's this one comic put out by Image that I think you would enjoy quite well. It has a lot of these fantasy elements that you would definitely love.
Yeah,
It's,
totally.
it's called Saga,
Ooh,
and
okay, I'm into it. I
yeah,
like the name.
and it's like space fantasy, almost like Star Wars, but not exactly. Um,
Okay.
and it's very interesting. I don't even want to give away any of the plot because
No, that's okay.
it's so good. But I love Saga. I will always read Saga. All right, Lex would like to know story time. Lex, who does not do story times, might I add. She just doesn't. Her name is a lie.
I think she used to, like way back, but nah, she doesn't really anymore.
She do makeup videos. Her name is a lie.
Yeah.
Lex, stop fronting. Damn it.
I love her makeup videos though, but
Oh, dude, I love her makeup looks so much.
yeah.
Like she
hmm
sends them to me like randomly now just because I love them so much. Like I
Yeah.
like her makeup looks are my favorite.
Yeah, they're
Um
so great. She
yeah,
is gold.
and she's such a good friend. I adore her. I love her dearly.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Um she would like to know what your favorite fantasy book is, and you can't say Lord of the Rings because that's a cop out.
That's a cop out. Okay. Um, well, is Harry Potter a cop out then? It probably is.
She
Uh,
didn't say anything about Harry Potter.
Harry Potter. I think like Harry Potter was really important to me as I was growing up because like I was kind of the same age as Harry. So Like, I think that really resonated with me, and that is a universe that I really love. So maybe that one, or maybe the books, Percy Jackson and the Olympians. He's like a kid
Ooh.
who's like a demigod of like the Greek gods, and so you like get to know like all of this like Greek mythology stuff, but modern day. Those were really cool too.
Oh, that made me think of another comic that I think you would like.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's this comic called The Wicked and the Divine, right?
Ooh,
And
that's
in The Wicked and the Divine, uh, you're basically a god, but you're given a 1 year like life, right? I think it's like 1 year, maybe it's a little
oh
bit longer. I don't know. It's been a while since I read it, but
yeah.
you're given like these god powers, these powers of these gods, and you have like a year or something to do whatever you want with these god powers,
Oh
and
man,
then you die, but you are invincible for that entire year.
for an entire year.
Yeah.
That's so cool. That's like a legit writing prompt, dude. I want to like go start scribbling stuff down. That's awesome.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, totally. I'll have to check that one out.
Nathan ASMR, great guy by the way,
Yeah,
fucking amazing
super
guy.
great guy.
Um, uh, he writes Whisperwind. Can you explain the inspiration for your channel for those of you who do not know what Whisperwind is?
Yeah, totally. So when I first found ASMR, I pretty quickly realized that I really love the role play videos. That like that's kind of my jam. So I found a bunch of really great videos out there, but I was like, how cool would it be if there was a channel where like every single video that they do is a role play video where it's like still in the same world. And so like every time you go to their channel, it's like going into this new world and it's like characters that you get to know and a story that you get to follow. Like how cool would that be? And I like didn't find anything like that. And so I was like, well, maybe I should do that. And then I talked myself out of it for like 6 months and I was like, no, I can't do that. Well, maybe I should, no, I should back and forth. But then like I started just kind of jotting down ideas here and there. And it was like on the backs of old receipts and, you know, at the bottoms of grocery lists and all that kind of silly stuff. But then, like, I don't know, this whole world started kind of forming from these little snippets of ideas that I got. And I was like, dude, I got to do this. This is so cool. Like, this could be a really cool thing.
And then you
So,
did it.
and I did it. I did the thing.
Yeah, you did. I tell
Yeah.
you what. So, like, what was your favorite character to create so far?
Oh, man. Possibly, I mean, I really like Rhea. She's kind of the point girl where like you go to the tavern and she's like kind of your warm, friendly, like sort of start point for everything. But I'm really excited about Farron and sort of her backstory, which like we haven't actually gotten into on my channel yet, but I
Yeah.
have it all written out. So I'm excited to kind of share that and like where her story is going to go.
You know, I've interviewed so many people who do role plays and so many people who do like sort of live inside your world, and I've never asked this question.
Ooh, okay.
And I always think of it like after the interview, and I always kick myself for not asking. Um,
Okay.
well, not kick myself literally because crippled, but like, um, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
How do you come up with the names?
Names. That's a good question. Um, some of it is like actual name research where I'll like look up sort of classic either medieval or Celtic or like some sort of names like that, and I look for names with meanings that like mean different things. And I'll usually use that as like a starting point, but then oftentimes I'll change the name a little bit to make it more unique, like to me. But yeah, that's kind of the basis of it. And then sometimes I'm just like, I don't know, maybe this name would sound cool, and it just kind of like I don't know, stays in my head forever. So,
Yeah. Yarn wants to know who your ASMR best friend is. Now, he didn't
well,
put this in the thing. He did not obey the rules of TDNS, but
no, he did not.
but I know that he asked it.
Yes, well, he asked because he knows that it's him. I'm really real close with a lot of people, but Yarn is my main squeeze. He knows it.
Yeah, I respect that. That's like me and like EJ. Like she's the homie and Lex.
Yeah, they're great too. Yeah, no, Yarn and I mean we DM like almost every day, and he's like so kind and supportive and generous, like not just to me, but like to a lot of people. So yeah, he's my homie.
Yeah, man. So we are now at the crimson portion of this
Okay.
show.
Yeah, she had a lot of them.
She had a lot of questions.
Did.
Yeah, which I appreciate because
Yeah.
I love it when people ask a lot of questions. Um,
Yeah,
what
totally.
started your passion for fantasy?
Fantasy, being born. I don't know. I feel like I've always really loved fantasy. Ever since like I had a teacher, I think it was like second grade or something, but she would read stories to us like every day after lunch. Then we would have recess, and then we would come in, and everybody would just like sit down, and we'd all be calm, and she would read us a story. And usually it was like a book from a different series, and she would like do all the different voices and all that kind of stuff. And she was a great reader. I think that was maybe what started it. And then after that, like I was that weird second grader that would go up and be like, screw you to the like grade appropriate reading lists and be checking out like the big old chapter books. Everybody's like, are you going to be able to handle that, honey? And I did. So
Nice.
that's probably it.
Random question. What's your favorite Disney movie?
My favorite Disney movie. Probably one of the like classics, like Aladdin, maybe. I really like Aladdin
When you
or
said
Hercules.
classics, I was expecting like the ones from the 50s.
Like the old ones, like Snow White or something. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, probably like I really like Aladdin and Lion King and Hercules, even though it's not actually historically accurate, but that's okay. It's still a good movie.
Yeah. Does
Yeah.
historical accuracy bother you?
Um, Sometimes with Disney, I'll kind of let it slide. Like it kind of makes sense why they weren't historically accurate in that one. I also am like a huge Greek mythology buff,
Mm.
so that one was a little bit like, okay, fine.
I feel you. I'm a huge history nerd. So like
Yeah,
I can't watch certain things because
right.
I'm like no,
That's wrong.
that jacket is inappropriate.
Yeah, totally.
They did not wear those uniforms on that front. How dare you?
How dare. Rude.
Yeah. Um, my favorite Disney movie. It right now since I have Disney Plus and I've been
Mhm.
watching a lot of Disney movies. Uh, I never
Yeah.
realized how freaking dope Sleeping Beauty was.
Yes. That was a really, really good one. Of like the actual classics, that's probably my favorite of like the really old ones.
Cause like the whole like scene where like the prince is like fighting like Maleficent, like
Hmm.
like the art direction in that is like so good.
Yeah, it's so beautiful. Well, and the backgrounds for that movie were actual like paintings. It wasn't just drawn things, like it was real life paintings that they made of like the forest and all of those like beautiful scenery pieces. It
Yeah,
was yeah, it was a really beautifully like artistic movie.
that stuff is so fire. Like oh my god,
Yeah, right?
that is like one of and I still don't think from like a art standpoint they've ever topped that movie.
That's probably true. Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah. Uh,
Yeah.
next question from the Crimson. Do you plan on turning the stories of Whisperwind into a book series?
I have had like I think four people ask me that actually. They were like, "Girl, you got to write books." And I was like, "What? Okay." So I wasn't planning on it, but now I've had enough people ask me about it that I'm like, "Hmm, maybe someday." I don't know. The Whisperwind Chronicles has kind of a nice ring to it.
Do it. That'll be
Maybe
so
someday.
fire.
I used to actually write a lot when I was like in high school and college and stuff. So
Also,
you never know.
I feel like if you wrote books, right? There's a lot more you could put in it uh
Right.
than what you could put in an ASMR video, because in an ASMR video you have to think about, like, and this is something that I often like fail to even consider when I'm working with, because side note, I work with people on the side to help them like craft like role plays and stuff, and
Hmm.
I'm like an idea guy. um you have to like think of like how to incorporate like triggers and stuff, and
Right. Totally.
and me, I'll be like, oh, we could do this thing and with that thing, and then and then right here, like I'm thinking like a movie director, and
Right.
then
Yeah. Totally.
and then there and then it's like, but yeah, but where's the ASMR? And I'm like, oh shit, yeah, that's got to be
Oh
in there
yeah,
too.
that's a thing. Right. And like I can't do any like, intense action sequences or any of that kind of stuff. So like in if I was going to incorporate that kind of stuff into the story, it would
Hmm.
have to be like off scene basically and then I'm just talking about it. But like actually having it in a book, I could write those scenes and I could like link it all together.
When you're
So,
writing,
yeah.
when you're writing your videos and your
Mhm.
storyboarding and all of this stuff, right?
Mhm.
Uh,
Yeah.
do you plan around triggers, or do you let the story come and then just sort of like throw in the triggers around that?
I think it's a little bit of both. I sort of have like major story plot points worked out, and then I'm just kind of like, okay, so how am I going to get from like point A to point B and point B to point C? And I'll do like, maybe one or two like more plot intensive videos in that mix. And then I'll do some other like kind of side ones where it's maybe not like super important to the plot, but maybe there's like a few little nuggets of things that if you watch those videos and then watch later, you're going to be like, oh yeah, she said that. Like, and kind of connect it that
Yeah,
way.
that
So
connective
I
tissue.
try to, yeah, yeah, I
Yeah,
try to like make it a balance.
yeah. Um, if you could film anywhere in the world for one of your videos, where would it be and why?
That was a really good question. I saw that one.
Yeah, it is actually.
Yeah, no, I love that. I don't know that I would want somewhere like really iconic landmark wise because it is a fantasy world and I wouldn't necessarily, you know. Um, but I know a lot of the Lord of the Rings was filmed in New Zealand and they did some scenes in like Ireland as well too. In fact, I've actually been to Ireland before and just the inherent magic of the land and the landscape there, I think could
Nice.
really be like an amazing setting. So maybe Ireland, maybe Scotland, somewhere like that, or somewhere with like a really, really cool forest that felt magical.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of like vague, but I don't know.
I kicked the shit out of Keith. Come on.
Hit the voting
Yeah.
button. Pick
Damn,
somebody.
Keith. No, it was Drake. It was Draconis. It was me. It was me. It was all me. Me. Fuck you guys. I rhymed with my own name. Fuck you guys. I'm done.
Everybody
This is
vote.
bullshit.
We got
I'm
our
done.
winner.
I'm out. Fuck you guys.
Congratulations, yo.
Fuck you guys.
Who are my next two robots?
If anybody's offended by sexual shit, you need to leave right now because I'm about to say something sexual. Because Keith just got licked by giant pussy. I've been sitting here stroking this towel off for hours. That sounds like something Jenny would say, honestly. And like where she would not realize what she said, and then someone like moi would point it out to her, and she'd be like, she has like my Jenny impression.
Question number 4. Do you, in the future, plan to do merch for your characters?
Again, this was one that I like wasn't necessarily thinking about. I mean, I was maybe gonna like do merch for the channel, sort of like, just like what other channels maybe do with the logo or something. But
I think it's a
I
good
would,
idea.
yeah, I would think about it, definitely. I would have to kind of brainstorm and talk to people who are better at like design, like product design and stuff than I am. But possibly in the like again, that would be way down in the future, probably. But
Yeah. This is our last Crimson question.
okay.
Who's been your biggest inspiration in life and why?
I feel like this is sort of a cop out answer, but it's really true. So I'm gonna say my parents. I've
Aw.
I'm really close to my parents. Well, actually, my dad died when I was in high school.
Oh no, I'm
Um,
sorry.
yeah, it's okay. Well, I mean, it's not okay, but it's okay. He and I were like really, really close, and he was a writer, and he was really intelligent and really creative and really like a really great speaker. And yeah, he like inspired me to learn about things, and he kind of inspired my love of history as well. And then my mom, like the two of them, they were literally like star-crossed lovers. They were just perfect for each other. Like she was so calm and steady and like strong in the background, and he was like big and loud and charismatic and awesome. And yeah, it was great. My mom is like really strong to this day, and yeah,
That's
I love my
amazing.
parents.
That's that's great. That is so nice and poignant, and I think that that's the best way to sort of like shut the book on this one.
Aw.
Uh, Ended on a happy note. Where can the people find you on social media?
Yeah, I'm on Twitter on Whisperwind ASMR, and then Instagram by the same name too. And then Reddit, although I'm still trying to figure out Reddit. I don't know what I'm doing there, but I'm on there. And then YouTube, of course.
Yeah, that's that's super dope. Thank you so much for coming on today. I really appreciate it,
Yeah.
guys.
Thanks for having me, man.
Guys, listen. Here's the thing. Here's what I need you to do right now. Okay, I need you to go to the YouTubes. Right, you're on the YouTubes because you're listening to this, but go to her channel. Hit the subscribe button, and then hit the bell. And then once you do that, all right, come back here to good old TDNS. And if you haven't already, make sure you hit that follow button, subscribe,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
hit that bell. Let us know that you like it, by hitting the like button. All of those things. Let us know who you want on next, and we'll try our best to hook it up. This has been really really nice. Uh I really like doing this. This is fun.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So I look forward to watching more of your stuff, and I look forward to seeing what you do in the future, and I look forward to getting your books because
Someday, yeah. Pencil that in for, a couple years from now.
because holy crap, it's gonna be fire. But with that in mind, guys, my name is Christopher Not Walking. This is the Dirty Nerdy Show. That is Whisperwind ASMR. And we will see you in the next one. Meanwhile, check out the ASMRtist of the week. And we'll see you in the next video. Bye.
Hold off until the first just to be safe, really.
Our weapons are useless! Retreat! All personnel!
You guys! You guys! Screen cap that shit! Alright.
This could be fun.
This is history. This is history in the making. Not so sexy. Okay, so you guys. Hold on, I gotta pause this shit because history was just made. So, you guys want to know why I drink the Sprite now instead of waited until March 1st? So that Alpha would say LaCroix before March 1st. And it fucking worked. Give the guy the prize before he wins, and then he loses.